is Eduardo Iniestra, and I work at the Save Our Youth Center as the Arts and Music Program Coordinator. When I was 17, that's kind of when I started thinking about getting into the world of music, but I was already doing a lot of visual art. So at the time, I wanted to go to an art school and go ahead and get my art degree and continue with, working with the visual arts, whether it be basically like music industry stuff, so like making music videos or even ads and things of that sort for music related things. But so that was like my plan when I was 17. For the most part, I think it was just the actual fact that I really enjoy that. I did it as a hobby since I was a kid, and it's stuff that I love to do. So there were, visual artists that I looked up to at the time, but for the most part, it was just my own motivation and my own drive to continue to be involved in things that I love to do. So I didn't really have a role model as far as the whole art and visual thing. Music-wise, obviously, I have a lot of influences from different people and different artists. But for the most part, it was just my self-driven motivation to be a part of that world. But there was definitely a lot of pressure from society, including from family members, particularly my mom. I think everybody in my family always wanted, and I think that goes for a lot of families. They want you to do something else, like your typical like doctor or lawyer type of thing. Yeah, so I mean, better than most that I think it's in I want to say Latino families, but I think it's like in all kinds of families. They just want you to follow the narrow road to like success and like be an engineer, be a lawyer, be something that has some kind of stability, you can say, in their world. If you come from a family that has that as their background, like if you come from parents that are lawyers and stuff like that, then they know what it takes to get there. But when I come from a family where my mom's uneducated, she didn't even finish high school, so her dreams for me were like, I want to say a lot bigger than what she sees now, But I guess the best way to tune the noise out was just for me to stay focused, stay focused on what I wanted to do, follow my heart, follow my passion, but actually do it. There's a lot of people out there that they have some kind of passion or some kind of love for something, but they just leave it at that. And I think the opportunity, especially here growing up in the United States, I think it's huge, but you just gotta follow through with your plans. Because if you don't follow through, then they're never gonna happen. There's always somebody else that wants your spot. There's always somebody else that wants what you want. So you have to work twice as hard. So I just stayed focused, I stayed strong in my decision with my family, and little by little they started seeing that it was actually bringing results for me. It was bringing positive results in my life. It was allowing me to take steps forward and move up on what I wanted to do. And the achievements started they're still piling up, and every time they see something that I do, something that I complete, a project that I complete, a project that gets attention, or it could be a post or some kind of write-up about it in some kind of publication, and then they start seeing that. Then they start seeing the bigger picture that you are seeing, and I think that's when it all kind of comes together. But that's how I tune it out, just staying focused and staying strong. That's easy. I don't have a personal life. No, that's the cool thing about what I do, actually. Like, my personal life is part of my professional life, and it's a beautiful thing for me, I do what I do, and I love what I do, and it allows me to be in this center of like this social network, and this like big like I don't know interconnection of like different people. So I meet people from all over the world. I meet people in different areas, and you know I as part of being in the art and like the music world, it's like being I'm there to entertain, I guess, So I do what I do. I meet a lot of people. I have fun doing what I do, and so that part as far as having fun. I mean, because you see students that are like going to school and they're following their path, what they want to do, but they're like doing schoolwork and all that stuff, and they can't really go out sometimes, or they'll have to wait till like some kind of break to go out and stuff. Like I don't have to do that. Like I do that anytime. So usually my break is like going away on my own and like kind of like getting a little bit of meditation, a little bit of focus, and like settle down a bit and like get away from it all, and then come back to my career, which is being around people and like being in the entertainment world, which is really fun. So I don't really have a problem personal with splitting it both.
It just mixed together well.
It does no pun intended, but like it's mixed together really well. and I meet like great people. Like I met so many kinds of different people. Like I mean, not just people in the industry, like the music industry or in the art world, but I meet like lawyers, like all kinds of different things. They just want to have fun, and like so my social network is awesome. No, you know what? It's actually been pretty on point. If anything, I've gotten surprised of other things that have come from it. But it's kind of always been what I've expected. I've never really had, some people get into the whole art, and I don't want to say so much art, but more on the music side of things. That they want to have that attention. They like the spotlight and stuff. That's not the case for me, really. I got into it because I really love what I do, and so I never went into this whole thing with like, being behind the scenes and the VIP and the red carpet and all that stuff. That stuff is just a plus, it's cool. Like, I enjoy it. I don't shy away from it. I think it's fun, I like messing with people when I do that. So I think it's what I expected and more. I'm a simple person, so just when I create something or I'm able to, work on music or work on visual art, I'm just really enjoying every second of it. So when I'm available to expose what I do or share it and people really enjoy it, and then it takes me to other places, then it's just a plus for me. So I'm just kind of riding the wave. So it's what I expected and more. There's in a very positive way. There's also some negativity aspects that have come from it, but it's just more people, being like, what do you call it, like jealous, and but I stay away from that too. I just surround myself with people that I like and that I have things in common with. But it's everything that I expected. A typical day, especially as of lately, is basically, I was talking to this with another friend of mine yesterday, but I asked her like, what do you do in your free time? And I kind of knew the answer to that because we're kind of like in a similar career. So like I wake up, have my breakfast, my coffee, and go straight to the computer. Like look for downloading music, check emails, forward, respond to emails, forward emails, promote whatever project I'm doing in social networking, whether it be like Twitter, Facebook, whatever. So I promote that. Usually I'm working on a project, so when that's done, then work on the project that I'm working on at the time. Soy is part of what I do. But in my career ties in with what I do, so obviously when it's time for me to come to Soy and do the after schooling with the students, then and then I come and do that. They're usually planning my like workshops with the students, but I usually already have those made, and I just kind of keep recycling them and adding things. So sometimes I have to prepare for a workshop, go buy whatever materials, get ready for soy. Then when I come here to soy, because it's during after school hours, and I'm here 3 to like 7:30, I just focus on what we're doing here, which is a lot of it too, is like, spreading the word about what we do, trying to get funds, try to get funding so we can stay open. And then obviously, working with the students, working with the youth, doing, art workshops, music workshops on a weekly basis, which is really fun, because then I get to share my love and my interest with them, in the hopes of that, if they want to follow that, they can actually continue to do so. Or if they want to use it as a pastime, then it can at least build some self-confidence, and then, spark them up a little bit somehow. When that's done, usually like the earlier of the week, I don't really have gigs. I have more of my gigs and my events during the weekend. So like Mondays and Tuesdays, same thing. Just go, get something to eat. Go home, continue to work on projects, and then when I have gigs, it's kind of like the similar situation. But then at the end of the night, I have to go perform or DJ or put an art show together and stuff like that. So that's kind of like my typical week, I guess. Yeah. There's always events going on the weekends, so my weekends are super packed. Yeah. I picture doing this for a very long time, and it comes in different stages too, so there's other things that I want to do, but I think I have to get the experience to be able to make those things happen. So I definitely picture myself being around this world, but eventually doing different things with it. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be DJing until like I'm 100, because that's just like, even for fun in my room, because that's the beautiful thing about it. Like, it went from being my hobby to like being my career, to like, putting a roof over my head, and like, being able to pay for my lifestyle. But yeah, I'm probably gonna be DJing until I'm 80. But you gotta look at people like like big time producers like Dr. Dre, and like even the RZA, which I don't know. RZA is actually he just did his movie with the men of the Iron Fist or something like that. And but he started as a DJ and producer, and then like now he's like he started doing more stuff in the music and in the movie industry. So he started doing scores for Kill Bill 1 and 2 and different things like that. So that's what I mean. Like, I want to be involved in it, but I want to evolve. So whatever I'm doing now, I want to do more the following year and so on. So eventually, when I'm old and wrinkly, then I can still be involved in it somehow. But I'm still gonna be DJing in my bedroom until I'm 100 years old. The most rewarding part of my job is just being able to do what I love. Like, a lot of people take what they do for granted, I think, and a lot of people show up to work and it's like, damn, like I got another job, another day, gotta work again, and I don't feel like that. I've never felt like, the only times that I felt like that is when I'm really sick, and sometimes I have to go to like whatever event or whatever thing I'm a part of, and I have to go like sick. But even then, I'm just like, it's cool, I am truly able to do what I love to do, like without a doubt. So it's just, that's the most rewarding aspect of it. I love what I do, and I'm so blessed to be able to do it and get paid for it. It's like, it's crazy. It would be to research, to really go out there, research, find people that are in your field. I believe that people that are already in a career, I mean, I like to believe that, but I don't think they would have a problem, maybe even giving like an internship to somebody that really, really shows that they want to do that. You don't have to be like over enthusiastic about it, but you have to legitimately show that person that you have a really, really fond interest in the field. So I think if you go out there and research, especially nowadays with like, you know, the social media and everything, there's so many pages about different, you know, there's art pages, like art groups, there's like music groups. I'm sure there's gotta be like engineering groups and all this kind of stuff. So I think my best advice is just to really research and talk to somebody that does that, you know, and not just talk to them like, you know, for a little bit, but really like take your time, you know, take a couple times, you know, shadow them, see what they do, see how they do it. You know, you can get a big insight into a career if you follow somebody that's already doing it, and that, I think that'll give you heads up on that. I mean, to the point where maybe after seeing that, you don't even want to do that anymore because you just got discouraged from whatever reason, you know. So I think that's what it is. I mean, that's one of the advice that I have to give, and the other one is just do it, just hustle. Like, don't just talk, just don't talk about it. Like, be about it. Like, want to do something, make it happen. Like nowadays, even somebody that wants to go into business, you know, you can make your own business from scratch. Like at 17, 16, you know, you have you know, free websites. You have all kinds of things. You can make anything happen if you really want to make it happen. You know, so just stay focused and power through.
Okay. Well, you have a couple tattoos that represent art and music.
Okay.
Can you show them to us and like talk about them?
Sure. I got, if you can see it. They're both very meaningful. I only have 2 right now, but I have a bunch of them already planned out. So eventually, you know, and kids, you know, you have to be 18 to get a tattoo. And think about it a long time. Yeah. So this one is really special for me because actually it was an original piece that, you know, it was my idea, and I actually sent it to a friend of mine who I really love his art. His name is Derek Leach, and he's a designer, of course. Like, he does visual art. He's a graffiti artist, but he does a lot of paintings and things of that sort. And I really like his style of drawing and things, you know. So I told him that the idea of it was basically, you know, a microphone with a grenade at the end of it, because, you know, I think music speaks really loudly to so many people all at once, and I like to be a motivator. I like to be somebody that motivates people, somebody that inspires people, and somebody that also talks about what's wrong with the system, I guess you could say, or what are the ills of what's going on, or maybe talk about you know, a more profound consciousness for human being, for the human race and for all of us. So it's basically using the mic as a weapon. Not as a weapon of destruction, but as a weapon of, you know, upliftment. So that's, and then, you know, it plays with the whole Kaboom name, you know, so it's like, you know, the grenade with the microphone. And he did an amazing job, you know, creating it. It's actually in my first line of t-shirts that came out. So this is like, it goes across the chest, and then it says Kaboom on the top with his style of graffiti writing, it came out great. I couldn't ask for anything better. And it's also extra special because on one of my trips to New York, this is my first tattoo, by the way. So in one of my trips to New York to do a couple shows, you know, I know a lot of tattoo artists over there, and actually one of the guys that I met and I kind of made a connection with and started, you know, chatting on Facebook or whatever, he actually tattooed it for me. So, you know, it's a really special piece, and it was cool that, like, the people in New York really took care of me. I wanted to give him money. Like, I was like, hey, you know, thanks for doing it. And he wouldn't take it. He's like, no, this is just, you know, from me to you. You know, it's like a gift. And you know, I bought him some treats, you know, some food and stuff. So he was cool with that. But he wouldn't take the money. So this is what the first one means. That's what it is. The second one, it's kind of like, I don't know if you can see it, but it's on the inside of my wrist. Okay. It's kind of crooked when I turn this way. But this is basically the cartridge of the head shell of a needle for a turntable. So basically this little handle here is what would be connected to the tone arm on the turntable, and you grab it and you place it on the record, and this is what actually makes the record play. So this is that's what that is, and obviously it's extra special too. And it's this one is kind of fun too because it's actually playing. You know, obviously, you know, I don't want to talk about drugs really, but you know, like a drug addict would shoot up stuff, you know, in their veins, and that's their addiction, you know. So like it's putting this in here because you know, I kind of like playing with the whole like music is my drug kind of thing, which it truly is. So that's why it's on the inside of my wrist here. And eventually this whole arm is going to be covered with just music related stuff. And the other piece that I'm getting was also designed by one of my favorite artists. He goes by Tooser. That's his like graffiti name. But he's like, he's an amazing visual artist. Like his pieces are amazing, truly. And I had him design my next tattoo, which is basically a human heart, which will go right over where my heart is. And it'll seem like the way they're gonna do the tattoo is it'll seem like my skin is open, so you can see the heart from the inside. So but what's gonna happen is eventually all these things are gonna be connected to the heart, and that's like, you know, like the music and the art aspect is what fills my heart. So that's what keeps me going. So that's what the tattoo mean. That's what the tattoos mean. And like I said, for anybody watching this video, like I'm not like, you know, I'm not saying get a tattoo by any means. Like, I mean, I'm 30 years old and like I just got my first tattoo last year. Like, you know, think about it if you're gonna get something in your body, because it's gonna be on there forever. But all this stuff is like meaningful to me. So yeah, that's why I decided to do.
Okay. Well, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.